For the last 15 years, I've been working, as I said, in cybersecurity, and I founded this company called Cyber Smart Defense in 2011, and since then we've been working all over the world and helping companies, governments, institutions to protect themselves and to be more secure. We have global coverage on the international media, and I will tell you what is the reason immediately. After I studied in the university in 2004, I started another business. So I had to sell my business because police and FBI, together with the local law enforcement, arrested the guys together with my help. They arrested the guys that they were doing illegal things in my internet cafe. Then I had to sell the business, and I went to study university abroad. And when I came back in 2004, I started a new business because I was in love with IT and internet. And I started a web hosting company in 2004. And in 2006, I had one of the best clients at that time. It was a cigarette producer company. And they used to have online marketing campaigns inside the cigar packages. They used to have a code. You take out that code, you put it on a website, and then you will win different prizes, iPhones, and so on. So, because my company was developed the website and providing the web hosting and support, we were hacked. We were hacked by some cyber criminals that they were injecting into the database their codes that they used to have in their packages, cigarette packages, and they were winning almost all the prizes. So this company came to me, and because I was liable through the contract of this kind of disrupting their activities, our liability was quite huge. So I was really stressed, and at that time I asked my team, my developers, my programmers, and my system administrators to fix immediately the problem. And basically they couldn't do anything else than changing the passwords, adding more layers, putting firewalls, and so on. But continuously we were hacking and hacked again. So I understood that my team did not have the hacker perspective as I had when I was young. Remember how the hackers were thinking and how the law enforcement. My guys, they were telling me the same things like my father used to tell me, but I didn't have the other perspective, the hacker's perspective. So I decided that, because I didn't have a lot of time, I decided to find and contact some of the best hackers in the world. It was my only solution at that time to tell me what is the issue, what are the vulnerabilities in my systems, in order to fix them and not have these issues again. So by chance, I found out that one of the most famous hackers at that time, in 2011, it was a Romanian guy called Code, and he was chased by the FBI and all the American law enforcement entities because he used to hack a lot of big institution, militarized objectives, NASA, Pentagon, and all the big names. So I finally managed to get in touch with this guy in less than 10 days, and I asked him, listen, I'm going to pay you as much as you want, just tell me which are the problems, which are the vulnerabilities we have in our systems, so we need to fix them. So he was very kind, and he just sent me by an email 5 points, and he told me, you need to fix this, you need to do this, you need to do this, and everything will be fine. I paid him at that time $500, which was not that much according to the liability that my company had. I gave these vulnerabilities to my team, and of course they didn't heard about XSS and SQL injection at that time. They didn't know what it's all about. I said, don't ask questions, just do all these things that this guy is saying here, and let's move on, because we have some business to do here. They fixed those vulnerabilities, and guess what? Starting from then, nobody hacked us anymore, and we were secure. So I understood that there are many businesses and many entrepreneurs in my positions in my position, and it would be extremely efficient, so I can team up with this guy and give solutions, so I can grab him on the legal side. And I proposed him to create a company together with him in 2011 and do exactly what he used to do before, because I have to tell you this guy, which his name is Tim Code, and today is my partner, he was not hacking for money or for any other reasons. He was hacking because he was passionate about security, and he was just identifying vulnerabilities and sending to the organizations in order to be secure, so not for money. So this was, from my perspective, a safe side and a safe reason to convince him to do this business with me. We started together in 2012. He is the co-founder of CyberSmart Defense. I'm the founder, and I am the major shareholder of the company. And we understood that we need to find clients. So back in time, I remember that I had this situation with a cigarette producer company, and I was offering free penetration test, like a POC, of course with authorization and all the NDA in place. And this is the way that we started to get more and more customers, because in less than 24 hours we used to hack them ethically and identify the vulnerabilities, and of course the conversion rate from POC, from free drive test, free penetration test into the real customer, it was very fast. We had a conversion rate of 98% from the POC to doing business and keep these customers with us. So after a period, because again, coming back from an experience that I had when I was young and with my father and all these things, I proposed to one of my friends that he used to work in the United States military cyber counterterrorism division. I asked him to come and join us because I needed the law enforcement perspective. I had this piece of the puzzle, I needed the other one. So this guy, he retired in 2015 and he joined us, and since then, of course, having these two guys, of course we have other guys in the team, but the concept is the basis. Now we have 360 degrees overview of cyber security, and he is the guy, Alexander, and he joined us in 2015. He used to be for 22 years in the Department of Defense in the United States. At the highest level, he had various missions, counterintelligence, signal intelligence. Actually, he is the one to identify and track down terrorists based on signaling that they used to transmit through GSM, Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, and all these communication protocols. I will now, having this introduction about how we start and how we are operating at the moment, I will tell you a few things about our experience in the last years. And of course, it's not a matter of if you will be hacked or your organization will be hacked. It's a matter of when this will happen and if you are ready for that. Talking about hacking, there are different motivations behind and attributions behind any hacking activities. It's the recreational hacking, it's the criminal hacking, the cyber criminals, the hacktivism, organized crime, and state-sponsored hacking. Let's shortly brief each one of them. So the recreational hacking is the one done usually by kids, like my kid, like this guy used to do. It's just for fun, just to prove themselves, for self-esteem, and no other financial or other kind of reasons. Then we have the criminal ones, the ones that they do the vandalism, they do defacements on websites, they just like to destroy things. Again, they don't have other motivation besides this. Then we have the hacktivism, the organizations that they hack just to transmit different messages. For example, there are these save the wheels, or I don't know, any these kind of motivation or organization, whatever. So their main target is to transmit messages. So they hack big websites like newspaper websites just in order to transmit and send their message to as many people as possible. Then we have the cybercrime, the hackers that they hack for money, stealing credit cards, doing ransomware, stealing databases, selling databases, cyber espionage, and so on. And talking about the 5 types of cyber criminals that we encountered are the social engineer, the ones that they just call you and tell you that they are from the technical team and they need to fix something and they infect your computer. So there are the spear phisher, because every attack starts with an email, usually. It's the usual hacker that is doing the hacking in order to exfiltrate data, extract the databases and sell it. The rogue employee and the ransomware artist, the one that is sending the malware, encrypting your files and requiring some ransomware in order to give you the key, the decryption key. Then we have the state sponsor, cyber attacks, cyber warfare. Basically, there are soldiers that every morning they punch their card into a military unit, and all they do all day is just hacking for their states. And we know that most of the powerful states, they are developing cyber armies at the moment. Of course, they are doing what is called APT, Advanced Persistent Threats, lateral movement, exfiltrating data, infecting the power grids, espionage, sensitive data exfiltration, and so on. I'm going to talk to you today very shortly about 2 cases. One of them is the SIM jacker type of attack that recently have been discovered. I was at Virus Bulletin in London last month, and it was presented by some security researchers that we work with. They are very specialized in mobile security. And also we will talk about a little bit about the dark web, the dark web. For those of you who don't know what is dark web or darknet, basically only 30% of the internet that we are seeing at the moment is the clear net. Whatever we find on Google, Bing, Yahoo, this is the clear net, and it represents only 30% of the entire internet activity. Then we have the deep web, where is the non-indexed pages are the pages that you don't find them via search engines, like medical studies, this kind of any kind of studies and information which is not for public but is not indexed. And then we have the dark web, is the dark side of the internet, where cyber criminals, they gather, they talk, they arrange attacks, they plan attacks, they exchange malware viruses, they sell cards, they even have pornography, pedophilia, and also recently, in the last 2 years, we discovered that there's a lot of involvement in the hitman, in the hiring someone to kill somebody else. You just pay him in Bitcoin and send him the picture, and then he just go and kills him and sends you the picture, and you send the rest of the money. This is what we see because we have a service, cyber intelligence service. Basically, for our customers, what we do, we monitor the dark web very intensively, and we do this proactive security, penetration test, vulnerability assessment, information gathering, cyber intelligence. This is the proactive part. And the reactive part is the other guys that do something what we don't do, but there are other companies like firewalls, antivirus, intrusion detection system, and cyber response. This is a capture of a dark web. It's an IRC channel that some of the hackers, they were planning an attack towards a bank. So basically, this is a screenshot we took. We were live and seeing what was happening. You see that here they were planning to target a bank. They were exfiltrating data. They were for a long time chasing this bank and doing some activities in order to start the real attack. Of course, what else you can find in the dark web are databases dumped. So basically, we work for a bank and we saw that somebody is trying to sell some samples, some credit cards of that bank, and based on the BIN number, bank identification number, we were able to see that, to test if the cards they were valid and announce the bank, and they have canceled the cards before the cyber criminals, they were selling it and use it, and the customers to be affected. Selling databases of websites, for example, this guy is here, and you see it's quite recent, it's January. They were selling the database of this website with so many, it's just $300, you see. So basically, one of the biggest assets that your company, your organization has is nowadays is data, because you get a lot of effort, you have a lot of effort in order to collect this data, produce it, and secure it. So it would be really pretty to see it for just $300 to be sold into the dark web. Hack as a service, of course, you can find it in the dark web. Basically, you just order, you pay, you just select the target and they will deliver it for you. It's just a regular business. I will show you in a minute some live activities into the dark web. There are marketplaces where you can buy anything you can imagine, illegally, of course. Just a second. So, as you can see, all the links that into the dark web are with .onion because they have to be accessed by this special browser, Tor browser. This kind of links, you cannot find them into the clear net. Rent a hacker, you see, experience having this kind of services, and it says here, I'll do anything for money. If you want me to destroy some businesses or personal life, I'll do it. Again, this is a market into the dark web. They can hack any Facebook account, hacking any website, any group of organization or companies. You can just buy, of course. The illegal activities, they were for many years on the internet. But what it makes them much more, it emphasized and it increased the number of illegal activities is the appearance of the cryptocurrency. Because you would follow the money and find the hackers. But now, with the cryptocurrency, whatever illegal activities you do or sell, you need to make money out of it. So now with this cryptocurrency, it's much more easier for them to do this kind of activities. You see, it's just database hacking and data retrieval is just 0.1 Bitcoin. Let's see what else. Of course, it costs only $77 to hack any email account or a Facebook account, an Instagram account. So you see, email is much more expensive. You need to be rich in order to order an email. Of course, counterfeited documents, money. You can have a German passport for just $2,400 into the dark web. WhatsApp can be hacked for only $46. You just put the number there, and I will show you one of the methods they hack the WhatsApp account. It's just $46. I think anyone can afford $46 in order to spy his girlfriend or wife WhatsApp. Email account, counterfeited money. You see? Of course, they have reviews because they are serious. They deliver. True business, smooth transaction. Even in the real life, you don't have such happy customers. Everybody's happy here, you see? Carding, very nice website. Hacking, documents, money, drugs, whatever you want. Hack as a service and so on. Of course, this dark part of I will not stay a lot here. This is a live chat. It's child pornography. It's something extremely illegal what is happening, and a lot of law enforcement and police and everybody on this earth is chasing these guys in order to find them and punish them for what they do to the kids. But this is something is happening, and I wanted to show. It's not something to show, but I wanted to show you to see what really happens into the dark web. I will switch because I don't. Of course, directories you can choose. It's again 70% of the activity on the internet is into the dark web, not Google and Yahoo. Okay, let's move on. We will talk now about something which has been discovered recently. It's a SIM jacker attack. Basically, this type of attack, it sends you a silent SMS to your mobile number, and without you knowing, you will send back, your device will send back to the attacker the cell ID, sector ID, IMSI, IMEI. Cell ID is the identification number of the tower cell. So based on that, if an attacker can know roughly in which area are you. Then you have the sector ID, is the sectoral phase leaving from this pizza pie that is the location you are. IMEI is the mobile identification unique of the device, and IMSI is the international mobile subscriber identification, is the serial card of your SIM card. So if you change your mobile and you put your SIM card into another device, it's not enough. So they can. How this attack is happening? Basically, the attacker is sending a silent SMS. It's exploiting a vulnerability called SAT browser. You know it. The SAT browser, it's a browser that the SIM card has had it from a long time in order to send you promotional messages, promotional materials about, and also information about your bill, how much you have to pay, and so on. This is a push service. It was developed a long time ago, SAT browser, and through that, the attacker can send you a silent SMS and extract this sensitive information from your device. This is a very scheme, so you understand how this is happening. Of course, many telecommunication companies were affected. Most of them, they have fixed these vulnerabilities, but in some cases, in South America, for example, it's very expensive to change everything, and it takes time, and the hackers, they do their games by the time this company will manage to fix this vulnerability. IMSI catcher, this is the cell ID. This is the tower. It's precious information we received. This is the map of the countries that have been affected by this vulnerability, by silent SMS attack. As I said, South America is very exposed to this type of attack. They are still vulnerable. Some of the countries, they are still vulnerable. So basically, if you have a mobile phone of somebody from Mexico, if you know his mobile phone, you just send him this silent SMS, you will receive his location, his IMSI, his IMEI, and so on. So you take it from there, you can localize and do a lot of other things. Very short statistics that about our activity in the last years, and then I will show you what is our concerns for the future in terms of cyber attacks and security. In the last 7 years, we've been doing more than 1,500 security audits worldwide, and we have identified more than 500,000 vulnerabilities. And these are our own statistics done by us based on these security audits. 98% of the IT systems had critical vulnerabilities. It's a huge number. So in 98% of the cases, we found critical vulnerabilities. The ones that they have been exploited, there were situations where we found malware installed 5 years ago into some IT infrastructure, and this malware was exfiltrating data for many years. It's like a free backup, let's call it, in Russia. 95 of the audited company owners, they don't have any agent within their. They believe they don't have any security, big security issues in their infrastructures. So if you would ask 95% of them if they believe they are secure, they would say yes, we are secure. Why? Because we install firewalls, we have antivirus, we have all the appliances in place, we monitor logs and so on. And we said, okay, let's give it a try. Free POC, proof of concept, 72 hours, we come with something critical and then everything changes. So only 5% they have admitted that they might have some security issues. Why? Because the market, the vendors, they have good marketing, and the biggest mistake, which personally I believe is happening, is that most of the companies, they buy from marketing, from sales, not from a security expert. So 80% of the companies that needed a cybersecurity services, they buy from vendors. This is what they said. I mean, so they don't go to an expert. You are an expert in cybersecurity, tell me what I should do. No, they do RFPs and they buy hardware and software appliances just because they believe they know what they need. 20% of the companies have been a cyber attack target. They admitted that they have been attacked. Only 22%. Of course, it's a reputational impact, it's a reputational risk that you need to address, and you need to cover as much as possible these kind of incidents. 20% of the system administrators access their infrastructure assess their infrastructure every 3-6 months. So they believe if they did one security audit 2 years ago, they should be secure. But this is not true, because vulnerabilities, they appear 0 days, types of attacks, motivation of attackers, and so on. I'm going to talk about some future threats, that what we believe it will happen in terms of cyber attacks and in terms of cyber security, and not only cyber security in general. This is one of them. We are concerned about drones, unattended, without pilots, and it's something that there is no, at the moment, there is not an effective defense against drones. There is not a system which is effective at the moment to counter-attack this type of attack. we have seen some recent types of attacks with drones. Security researchers at the moment, they are trying to find a way to give a command to the drone, a go back home command. So basically, they want to send back, when they detect this kind of threats, they want to send back the drones in order to identify the originated source of attack. But it's quite difficult at the moment to achieve that without jamming the GPS coordination system, which is illegal. Our friends from China already started to develop these kind of drones, and they are selling them. Imagine 1,000 such drones to be on the sky above you. If you have law enforcement on the terrain, if you have police, if you have in the air, I don't know how you can defend yourself. Another type of future attack we believe it will happen against humanity is RFID chipping. In Sweden, there is a company which already enrolled 4,000 people. They have implanted in their hands RFID chips because they believe it's much easier to pay, access into the buildings, I don't know, information, medical information. If you have an accident, they will scan your chip and they know all your historical. But this is actually, if you see the commercial, the marketing commercial on this one, it looks very nice and gives you a lot of, let's say, advantages to be chipped. As I said, this is the CEO of the company, Johan, in Sweden. He managed since 2013 to enroll 4,000 people worldwide to chip themselves. There are many movies showing advantages, as I said. What is the real threat which will happen, and we believe that this will happen in the next less than 15 years, 10 years I guess, is to hack the humans, because RFID, everybody knows that it's not secure and you can easily manipulate it, and imagine what you can produce, what kind of damage you can produce. So I hope, the time was very short, but I hope I covered a little bit some interesting topics that it's in our interest at the moment. If you have any questions, please